What's going on, everyone? It's Pidge here, back again with another YouTube guide. This time on the demonic gorillas. Now, first of all, to be able to fight the demonic gorillas, you've actually got to complete the quest Monkey Madness 2. And once you've completed that, you just head to the cave, where you fought the final boss, and you'll find the demonic gorillas there. Getting into the setup that I use, I'm bringing my Slayer Helm, so I've got a Black Demons task that allows you to kill demonic gorillas and still get the bonus from the Slayer Helm. And just general melee gear with some range hybrid. So you want a good freeway switch, just like what I'm running really. You got some good prayer bonus with this as well, with the Varrock's plate skirt. But as long as you've got the best kind of melee and range hybrid switch you can, then you'll do just fine. You don't have to copy exactly what I've got here, just bring the best that you've got. I would recommend the magic shortbow imbued though, over the rune crossbow, if you don't have anything better than either of those. Because the magic shortbow does do more damage, as long as you're using rune arrows, that is. So pretty simple gear setup. Other than that, we've got the super strength, super attack, ranging potions, and then 5 prayer pots is my preference here, and just the best food you can really bring at your level. I've got the rune pouch with high alchemy in it, just to save some invent space when you're there, because sometimes you get supply drops, and also the seed pod allows you to go back to the bank, and then also go to the gorillas. I also bring a Holy Wrench and an Ash Sanctifier, just because I prefer to get as much experience and conserve as much supplies as possible, but they're really not necessary. You could easily bring 2 extra food and just make your trip last a bit longer if you want. Also, I did forget to mention, in terms of stats, I would recommend at least base 80s in your melees and your range and defense, and at least piety, but you could easily do it with less. You're just going to have really short trips. Now, getting into how we get there. Run from the bank at the Tree Gnome Stronghold. This is actually on the 1st floor. Go downstairs, down the ladder rather, head out the door, go northwest, head towards the crash site. You'll find an opening over here. You just pass through the opening, and that'll lead to a path that leads to a cave where the gorillas are located. Right, now pray mage as soon as you get into the cave, because things are going to start getting thrown at you. Guys ranging me. So don't worry about these tortured gorillas, just run up the steps, run all the way west. You'll find the demonic gorillas. Whenever you head straight in here, you're going to want to pray mage, because that's the one that hurts you the most. And as soon as it attacks you, that's going to tell you what attack style it's currently using. Now, just before I explain all that, I just want to pray, drink my pots. As I said, go in with Pray Mage and then figure out what it's attacking with. The rock that it's just through there is a range attack. If you see it throw that, Pray Range. Also, when it's attacking with Mage or range, it can drop these boulders like you just saw. Now, we'll see if he goes to Mage or Melee. I think he's going to attack with Mage. That's a mage attack, that green ball. Good to have sounds on also, because they do make very specific sounds with each attack. Then after this mage hit, he will range again, where he'll throw the rock. His melee attack is where he just floors you. So the way this works is he will attack 3 times. Now, if he hits you off prayer and does damage, as in not hitting a 0, then it will not count as a hit on you in the cycle. What I mean by that is that it has to hit you 3 times to change its attack style, but it has to hit a 0 every time for it to count. Now it just hit me twice 0s, now it's a 3rd 0, now it will change attack style to range. See? It's predictable. Now, as well as this, you can probably see by now that its attack style that it's praying to over its head is changing quite frequently. Now that is based on the amount of damage you do to the gorilla. Every time it loses 50 health, it will change its prayer above its head. And then whenever you do 50 damage with your weapon or more, then you just switch styles. And it is a bit of a juggling act, to be honest, the way that you have to switch between your gear and your prayer. It might take you a bit of a while to learn it, but just keep on practicing. I'm sure you'll get it down eventually. Just all about the muscle memory. Now, in terms of advanced strategies, if you want to try a bit harder to, extend your kills per trip out a little bit, First of all, I would suggest setting up F keys. Now that's how you see me flicking through my tabs so quickly. I've actually got the tabs bound to the function keys. To do this, you just go into the settings and go into controls. Down here, you can set up your keybinds. And I use this to go between my inventory, where I can switch my gear, and my prayer, just so that I can really be on point and not lose many ticks, get more kills, and save more supplies, take less damage. Now it does take a bit of getting used to, but if you just keep practicing it, it will become a habit eventually. Now as well as this, you want to practice your switching, even in your downtime, just whilst you're practicing F keys, just practice switching in and out. Because the faster you do these things, the more damage you're going to put out, the more kills you'll get, the longer your trips will last. Now this might sound obvious, but a good thing to do also is to put some gear investments in before you do decide to camp demonics. Now, don't get me wrong, feel free to come here with a rune skimmy and, I don't know, an adamant crossbow. But at the same time, if you do have, let's say, an anguish or a torture, or maybe even a bofa, these things will increase your DPS massively and get you that zenyte even quicker. So any gear upgrade you can get before camping this will do you a lot of good. Another slightly advanced strategy is to walk away from the gorilla once it's hit 3 times with either range or mage. Now the reason for this is that it's going to either switch to either range or mage or melee, and you can't really tell if you're stood in melee range what it's going to attack you with. You essentially have a 50% chance of taking damage. Now to avoid this, on the 3rd attack you want to walk away out of melee range, and if it comes towards you then you pray melee, and if it doesn't then you pray the opposite, so range or mage. As well as this, if you are taking a lot of damage quite heavily, then the good thing to do is to walk under the gorilla whilst you're eating up, and then you avoid any damage. Just don't stay under there for too long or it'll de-aggro, you'll get hit by another gorilla. Now I'm just going to show you some footage of me doing one whole gorilla's trip, just so that you can kind of see the way I click, the way I move, and just what kind of habits I use to extend my trips out. It might not be the best trip ever, but I'm sure there's some stuff in here you could learn. And that's about it, guys, on my guide to the demonic gorillas. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe down below, put a like on the video. Any questions at all, any suggestions, put them in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.